And then now we should have the after the show show.
We totally, actually, I just thought about that when you were wrapping up. I was like, now we get to go to the good stuff.
Yeah, this is the after the show show. You know, like is there anybody who doesn't? I've noticed that all these talk shows and all these different, they have even that TV show, or there's some TV show, and then after the TV show, they have people that are really cults follows it, and then they have a after the show show where they talk about the show that they just watched.
Well, it's just so interesting as human beings. We want to experience things together. We want to know that something is shared.
Yes, I agree. And I have something to share with you. I saw this. I don't even remember where I was poking around at. It was something by the Dalai Lama. And I know you have all kinds of quotes from different people. And I bet you've seen this. And maybe you even shared it. I didn't go look and see. And he says, if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion.
Oh, I like that.
Isn't that nice?
It is.
Yeah, it really kind of says it all, I think. I don't know. I thought a lot about compassion when this was going to be our topic, and I think that I almost saw it as I don't know. It's like an opportunity for a new beginning. Every one of these topics, I think you can stop and pause and think about things. So for me, I thought, well, if you think of a person or a situation with a compassionate view, that can be an opportunity. Maybe that's a chance for you to not prejudge yourself or them, and to try and be maybe more kind and open-hearted and considerate for either yourself or them. Not to be so critical feeling about things.
I know. I have a funny story that I'll share with you and with our after the show people. That kind of that segues into that. I cannot believe the level of critiqueness like we have on ourselves. Like I was having a session with my coach, and she said, kind of what you do want to work on. And I said, I want to work on the self-discipline to turn my eyes away from the TV screen. It just burns me that I cannot walk away from the TV. It mesmerizes me. and after, so we talk through it, and, we there's all about the who, what, why, kind of like coaches do. And, why am I sitting there on the couch? Because I want to cuddle. And so focus on the cuddling and not so much on the screen. But anyway, that's the level of sort of daily checking I'm doing on myself. Like, I want to be able to be so disciplined that there is no effort in me moving away from this action that I'd rather not do, that sometimes pulls me in. So, yeah. And if if we judge ourselves in that way, I think I'm more compassionate towards others than I am myself. So if I can be more compassionate toward myself, imagine how much more compassionate I'll be to others.
Well, and you're right. And I know, when you said the topic was going to be compassion, absolutely. The very first thing I can just see the vision of it in my head. The first thing I started thinking about, well, how are we compassionate? How are we compassionate to other people? So it took me a little while of thinking about it before I started turning it around, and I started thinking of it more as a word of action. And then I thought, it resonates from your heart, and if it resonates from your heart externally towards others, really, we really ought to try and do that for ourselves too, not be so hard on ourselves. So, I don't know, like a way of not only touching others, but in the outside world, but touching ourselves as well with kindness.
Yes, definitely. I mean, it changes us. It evolves us. It helps us grow into that new evolution, that spiral staircase of, going out and up and then in and then up. And, we unfold from the inside out.
Like being more self-aware, right?
Yes.
Like paying attention. Like I remember sometime I had a lot of years ago, I had an aha moment where someone pointed something out and it just resonated with me and it made such a difference. And I just started looking at things differently and thinking, gosh, I need to have better control over this or that, or to really take a step back and be able to look at that a little bit differently. And I think whenever I'm able to do that, that's always really helpful,
Yeah. Well, you mentioned just now that compassion was, you thought about action. And when I think about compassion, I think of cultivating the earth around us, like sowing and turning over the dirt and, growing compassion.
Yeah, that really makes sense, Vivian, to me at least. I mean, you're not just going to wake up and all of a sudden you have to grow it and fertilize it inside and outside, like growing a flower.
Yes, yes.
Very good.
And the more compassion we have, the greater freedom, peace, and joy that we just make space for. I mean, it's like the fruits of compassion, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the buds that come from that compassionate, nurtured earth.
It's like every year when I go out and I plant all my tomatoes from seed out in my greenhouse, I'm so excited and so pleased as I watch them start to turn into tomatoes.
Aww.
So, but yeah, that really is neat. That's a neat way to think of it. We do need to fertilize and grow and take care of ourselves.
Well, and one of the, from what I read and what I understand about the research, the most powerful practice that anyone can do to cultivate compassion, from what I understand, is to have a practice of gratitude. And
how would you what's a practice of gratitude, Vivian?
Well, I think as it relates to compassion, it would be that it's such a mess. And it's all so beautiful, to have the understanding that, at least for me, this tapestry of this life that I'm living is just one tiny thread of what a bigger, bigger, bigger rug is that weaves itself through the entire universe. And at some point, I believe I'll actually be able to look not just at that single thread, but at the entire tapestry. Not from the back where this thing happened, that thing happened, the other thing happened, this led to that, but from the front of the tapestry to see the beautiful picture, almost like an embroidery also. Like the back looks completely different than the front does, right?
Right.
And so, so that gratefulness, that trust in the beautiful chaos that is happening, and holding on to that seed, that center within ourselves, that can find joy in that space, and move from there and grow that,
Yes. Well, I think we should thank everyone for sticking with us for the After the Show show.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.